Drivers, start your engine!
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Behind him, one last chance down the back straightaway into corner number 3. It's out of corner number 4. Looking to drag race back to the start finish line, but no one will catch him as the 77 of Dalton Wicker will pick up the checkered flag.
This is the Hypershift Racing Team on Peacemaker Gaming.
Rubber burning engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hypershift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, the glory we take. Tire spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hypershift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's delight. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to set these drivers loose for what will be another amazing night of racing action here in the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR series here this afternoon, as each and every one of these drivers hoping for a good day here in Iowa as qualifying underway and drivers laying down their quick times out there on the Speedway. Tyler Chronister out there on the racetrack, he jumps up and into position number 2. Great qualifying lap there for the 99 ride. We do see Dwayne Furtick out there in that beautiful Dell number 51 machine. He's looking for another big run here this afternoon. Is down and out of corner number 4 across the line. We'll see where Dwayne Furtick jumps up to. Looks like he'll slide into the 8th position, so gains about 10 spots there on that second lap. Brian King, his second time around, down across the line, gonna go from 19th to 12th here, so picking up a little bit more there on lap number 2 as well. Jonathan Cofield in that beautiful number 58 machine, last week's winner there in 58 ride, up and into 20th here on his first lap. Now we've seen a lot of these drivers, they tend to get quicker on lap number 2, building some heat in these tires, so we interested to see where Cofield can jump, see how much he can gain out there on the racetrack here on lap number 2. It's down and across the line. We'll see where he slides into, and it looks like he'll go to second. So Cofield up and into position number 2, blazing fast second lap as he'll jump in right behind Adam Boughton for the pole position here this evening. Now we still have John Osborne, Richard Wolsifer, Jack Simpson, Brandon Warlick, Ryan Chronister, and Corey Denk all yet to qualify here. They have not jumped in on the racetrack. They have not laid down qualifying laps as of yet. And unfortunately, they're going to run out of qualifying time here in a quick hurry. And I think at this point, they can't even get a lap in. So unfortunately for John Osborne, Jack Simpson, Richard Wolsifer, I do believe Corey Denk, Ryan Chronister, and Brandon Warlick, they're going to have to start at the rear of the field here this evening. And for all these drivers, it is time to shine. It's time to get the party started here this evening. The party about to get underway as the qualifying session comes to a close. Here we go, our main feature event here this evening in the Tiny Toes 171. From Iowa Speedway. This is going to be an amazing show, another amazing race here in the Hypershift Racing League IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. As drivers get lined up down pit side, each and every one of them ready to roll, ready to rumble here in Iowa, trying to put themselves up and in to the winning position, as we'll get them all ready to get loaded in, try to roll down out onto the racetrack. We'll see all these drivers continue to load into the session here as this timer kind of clicks down here. They got another, I believe minute or so. I believe it's a 2-minute gridding area, so I believe they got a little bit of time here. I could be wrong on that. It could be 1 minute of gridding, and if that is the case, then we're definitely missing 4 of our top 10 drivers. There's the 40 ride getting loaded in, but still waiting on Matt Sisler. There we go. Okay, so it is just over a minute. So we do see a couple more guys getting loaded into the sim here this afternoon. It's starting on the pole here in our feature event here. 171 laps of racing action here in the Tiny Toes 171. It's Adam Boughton who will start in the pole position. Actually, I think it's 200 laps. Yeah, 200 laps here in the 171 this afternoon, as Boughton will start in that pole position. Jonathan Cofield will start in position number 2. Tyler Chronister in the Walmart number 99 ride will start there in third. To his outside in the 88. That is Trevor Massetti starting back in position number 5. In the Tom Stacy Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches number 36 machine, it's Gage Wenzel. To his outside in the Three Birdies number 31, it's Matt Sisler. Starting in position number 7 in the Kinder Morgan number 21 ride, that is Fred Pennington. To his outside in the number 32 is Cendric Ingram. Ingram will start there in
8th. Starting back in the 9th position in the number 51 ride, it is Dwayne Furtick. Furtick will start there in 9th. Into his outside will be the 14 machine of Connor Fuge, rounding out the top 10 here this evening. Drew King in the 40 ride of Doug Denise back there in row number 6 with Dallas Humans. Ryan King, Gavin Grubbs, Max Koss, Dylan Huso, Matt Walters, Dalton Wicker in his Tiny Toes number 77 ride back in starting with the 17th position with Jaden Newson, Michael Sheffield, Anthony Ludi, Kent Mueller, Jeff Carson, our top 25 out there with Jack Simpson, John Osborne, Richard Wolsifer, Corey Dank, Ryan Chronister, Brandon Warlick, and it looks like Michael Carter going to elect to start at the rear of the field here this evening back in that 31st position. So, 31 drivers ready to go to battle here this evening. And the Tiny Toes 171 here from Iowa Speedway, the fastest short track on the planet. And for Adam Belton, he was fastest here in qualifying. He will start in the pole position with Jonathan Cofield, last week's winner there to his outside, is nice and easy down and out of corner number 4. The base car will make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and here we go, ending all of the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Iowa Speedway. Is Adam Belton, great launch, great jump right there inside lane, got moving rather quickly. Unfortunately for Jonathan Cofield, outside groove just did not get fired off right there. Did not have the grip or the drive that they were hoping for down through corner number 1, and unfortunately he falls from 2nd all the way into 4th, and now already trying to play catch up here, trying to figure out a way to get around Tyler Gronis or Gage Wenzel and hoping to see if he can battle back to the 94 ride of Adam Belton, as Belton leads lap number 1 and nice and easy down through 3 and back out of 4. He will head down across the line and lead lap number 2 here as these drivers will click these laps off in a quick hurry. As last time around, Gage Wenzel laid down the fastest lap of this race, a 22.46 second lap time. So 22.5 seconds roughly for a lap around Iowa Speedway. Now that is going to continue to get a little bit worse for these drivers as the tire wear kind of starts to come into play. Drivers start to feel that heat build up, and they'll get a little slower here throughout the race, but it is just going to make things that much more difficult, that much more exhilarating, that much more exciting for us here this evening as Belton looking to hold on to the top spot, though. Gage Wenzel continue to run just some great lap times here on his back bumper and down across the line. And Gage has been roughly the fastest car out there on the racetrack the last 3 or 4 laps, and he has reeled in our race leader Adam Belton. Belton in the opening couple laps there was able to build, a decent little lead, but he has seen that gap evaporated and now has the Tom Stacy Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches number 36 ride right on his back bumper. And Gage Wenzel coming from that 5th position is looking to try to work his way right out in front early on this afternoon. We'll see if he tries to make a move, if he can find the run he's looking for to try to get around this 94 ride as he looks to the outside, down to the inside. We'll see if he takes advantage of it down into corner number 1 as again Belton will lead lap number 6, but Wenzel's right there with them, not letting him run away with it, keeping him honest out in front. Now looking down to the inside, will shoot it underneath of Belton. Belton has to go into that middle groove. Unfortunately, he'll move up the racetrack. This may kill a little bit of his momentum, especially sliding up against that outside fence. That opens up the door for Gage Wenzel not only to lead lap number 7, but to clear him and take the race lead here in the early portion of this feature event. So 7 laps in, and already our first lead change of the day as Gage Wenzel from 5th to 1st here in the first 7 laps of racing action as Belton back there in 2nd. Jonathan Cofield's worked his way back around Tyler Chronister for position number 3 out there on the racetrack. So Cofield back up into third. He'll look to keep on marching back up here as you'll see if he can try to work on the back bumper of that 94 ride of Adam Boughton for that second spot on the Speedway. Matt Sisler there in 5th as Trevor Massetti, great run going here for Massetti as he rolls there in that 6th position. And you do see the 3 birdies, number 31 of Matt Sisler, able to work his way up and into position number 4 there, working his way around Tyler Chronister. So Tyler falls back into that 5th position. Trevor Massetti there in 6th, looking to reel him in as we do see Cedric Ingram in that Art Club number 32 ride, the Fanatec machine, rolling there in 7th. Connor Fuge right there behind him in the rig ride. The Dr. Stone machine rolls right there in that 8th position. Dwayne Furtick back in 9th with Dallas Humans rounding out our top 10. Humans has worked his way up 4 positions here, and early on, Dallas looking pretty strong out there on the Speedway as you do see Brian King just a little farther back there behind him in that top tattoo ride, and Drew King right there with him, so a pair of Kings back there just outside our top 10. Doug Denise, Dalton Wicker, Jaden Newson, our top 15 here on the Speedway. Fred Pennington, unfortunately, down 9 positions from where he started, now sits back in 16th with Dylan Huso, Brandon Warlick. Warlick started at the rear of the field, back in 30th. Now up 13 positions. Man, he has been clicking his way through the pack here as Jack Simpson just in behind him in that 24 right. Matt Walters in the 10 machine rolls there in 20th. Max Cost, Anthony Ludi, our top 22. Richard Wolsifer back there in position number 23. Kevin Grubbs, Jeff Carson, rounding out the top 25 with Ryan Chronister, Michael Sheffield, Kent Mueller, John Osborne. Weird to see Osborne this deep in the field here. Back in 29th. He's lost 3 spots since the start of this feature event, but you gotta wonder maybe if Osborne's just trying to play the long game here, the long strategy game, trying to keep the tires underneath of him, knowing that we could see a lot of good green flag laps here this afternoon. Now, Iowa can go kind of a hit or miss racetrack. It can be really, really good, or it can get really, really bad out there on the Speedway. And for each and every one of these drivers, they know that. They know that there is a possibility that once a caution flag flies, there may be numerous caution flags that follow, as cautions definitely breed cautions here at Iowa Speedway, especially as we continue to click these laps down and we get closer and closer to, some of the milestone markers throughout this race. Lap 50, lap 100, getting in towards that final 100 laps. Obviously, a caution flag would definitely change the entire game of this race. And when you start to run this many good green flag laps, it starts to bring into the question mark not only the tires, but the fuel mileage as well. Where does that put you? Where do you find yourself here in, a couple laps for a set of green flag pit stops as Michael Carter finally works his way around Corey Dank. Michael back there in that 30th position. Corey D in the tiny toes in number 7 ride rolls back in the 31st position. So we got one tiny toes ride at the rear of the field. Another tiny toes ride trying to work his way through the field as Dalton Wicker rolls there in that 14th spot on the Speedway. As Kane Lee in the chat says, let's go number 51, Furtick. Cheering on Dwayne Furtick here this afternoon. Dwayne right now just inside our top 10 as he has worked his way actually around Trevor Massetti and Dallas Humans and has now worked his way up and into the 7th position. So Dwayne Furtick starting to click him off here, starting to work his way a little closer to the front of the field. Brian King trying to go with him as King now finds himself up inside the top 10 as Connor Fuge falls outside the top 10 as the rig ride falls all the way back into that 12th position on the Speedway. But out in front, it is still the 36 of Gage Wenzel. Wenzel continues to lead the way and nice and easy down at a corner number 4. Back down across the line, he will lead lap number 20. So 20 laps down. 180 laps left to go here in this one as we are 10% of the way through this feature event. And obviously for these drivers, they've only been rolling out there on the Speedway for about 8 laps or so. So they've been clicking off these laps in a quick hurry. And knowing that, they're clicking them off this fast. The possibility to see just non-stop green flag racing here tonight is definitely a possibility. And not only do you got to take care of your equipment, but you got to keep an eye on that fuel gauge, and you got to make sure that you get down pit road easy here this evening. You do not want to make a mistake down pit side. It's a lot like Bristol or Martinsville. You get a black flag, you can almost count yourself out of the running here for any sort of lucky dog or anything else, because you can go 2 laps down here with a minute hold or a 30-second hold plus that pit stop, and that could really set you back throughout this race and put you into a position that you start making desperate moves out there on the racetrack just to try to inch your way back to that lead lap. As Gage Wenzel, nice and easy down across the line, will lead lap number 23. But that 58 ride, Mr. Jonathan Cofield, he's been all over him. Cofield's looking to jump back out in front, looking to pick right up where he left off after last Thursday's racing action. And for the 58 machine, sitting there in position number 2, putting the pressure here on Gage Wenzel. Wenzel, though, able to hold him off and keep on leading the way here in this one. But already tire fall off, reaching about that 2.5 of tire fall off. So we've only ran 24 laps of green flag racing and already seeing a 2.5 of tire fall off, just to give you guys a perspective on how much these guys are giving up out there, how much they are falling back, and how slow these cars are going. As the track continues to change, the tires continue to get kind of tore apart out there on the racetrack. You're just backing these corners up even farther. You're getting slower through the center of the corner to make sure that you can turn the car around in through the middle of the corner to get a decent exit. Unfortunately, as the tires continue to get slicked off, you can't get back onto the throttle as hard on corner exit, because you run the risk of spinning those rear tires and going for a loop-de-loop or smashing down into an infield wall or through the infield grass here at Iowa Speedway. It is definitely one of those tracks that you got to be very, very careful on, throttle control out there on the speedway, especially as you start to get these green flag runs, especially as you start to see that massive tire wear start to come into play. And a lot of times you'll see drivers that were a lot slower early on that just seem to be kind of stalled out, that were just kind of sitting back, really not pushing, not really trying to advance forward all too quick out there on the speedway, will start to chip their way back up and around a lot of these drivers. Even if they gave up a lot of positions early on, they're starting to gain them all back here as this race continues to progress. As we do see Dwayne Furtick, who he started back in that 9th position. He just kind of hung out there in that 9th position for probably about 18, 19 laps here, and then now all of a sudden he started to pick up that pace, started to really click these drivers off and put them back behind him. He was first able to get around Dallas Humans and Trevor Massetti. He's now gotten around Cendric Ingram and Tyler Chronister. So move this number 51 of Dwayne Furtick up and into that 5th position now on the speedway. So a new driver inside our top 5 is Sean O'Keefe. What's good, Sean? Sean says, my dollars is on the 36. Go get him, he says. Go get him. Cheer it on. Gage Wenzel, is Wenzel out in front. Continue to hold on to that top spot as down across the line he will complete lap number 30 here for these drivers. So already 30 laps down, and now we start to wonder, how far can they go on a tank of fuel? How far can they make it here this afternoon? That is going to be the big question for each and every single one of these drivers, is just trying to survive and have these green flag pit stops. They got about 80% fuel here. So 80% fuel. You're at Iowa Speedway, man. It'll be fun to see how they're going to be able to, overcome all of it, man. As I don't know. Let's take a look here. Great thing. Alrighty, as we do see Cofield, though, able to complete that pass. Cofield does jump in front of him, so Gage Wenzel slides back into second, and for the second time here this evening, we do see a new race leader out there on the racetrack. We knew it was a matter of time. That 58 ride was all over. Gage Wenzel really showing some great pace, some great speed, and again here this afternoon, looking very, very strong here in these NASCAR next-gen rides. As for these drivers, at about 80% fuel in these next-gen cars, generally they roughly last around 45 to 55 laps under green flag conditions, depending on, you know, how heavy on the throttle you are, and with moderate fuel savings, you can extend it a little bit here, but for the most part, a lot of these drivers probably going to be roughly around, you know, that 45, 50 laps here before they end up coming down pit side. Now, some drivers may even pit a little bit earlier. Some drivers may wait a little bit longer here. It depends on your tire situation. If you're leaking positions, if you're falling back in a quick hurry, and you need those tires more than you probably need that extra little bit of fuel, you may end up down pit side early and trying to, you know, maybe just get a little bit of an advantage. Try to leapfrog some of these drivers. Put yourself in front of them with the new tires out there on the racetrack, as last time around our race leaders ran a 24-second lap time, and throughout the field, you know, running 24 3s, 24 1s. A lot of these drivers now into that 24-second bracket. We're starting to see closer and closer to that 2 seconds of tire fall off here throughout 37 laps of racing action. So as we hit towards that, you know, 40 laps into this race, and you're starting to see, you know, every 20 laps or so, you're losing about another second of pace out there on the speedway, and that's going to really start to force some of these drivers down pit road. And there could be a few that gamble here throughout the race that decide that, hey, you know what, it's going to be worth the gamble to try to make some moves, try to jump down pit side a little bit sooner, maybe use an extra set out there on the racetrack throughout this race. But nonetheless, as of right now, everyone stayed out, everyone's still rolling. It's nice and easy down and out of corner number 4 for Jonathan Cofield. He will complete lap number 39 as Boughton's up into second. Gage Wenzel slides back into third. Matt Sisler, Dwayne Furtick right there in fourth and fifth, with Tyler Chronister back in sixth. Trevor Massetti, Dallas Humans, Doug Denise, Drew King now our top 10 out here on the racetrack, as Cedric Ingram trying to hold on to that 10th position. Unfortunately, just doesn't have much there for the 34 machine. Dalton Wickers up and into 12th as Brian King falls back into 13th. Brandon Warlick, who started back in 31st, this number 3 machine, the AC Delco Ryan, has found his way up into the 14th position and now up 17 spots from where he started. Great run early on for that number 3 machine. Dylan Huso's there rounding out our top 15, with Fred Pennington, Richard Wolsifer, Jaden Newson, Anthony Ludi, Jack Simpson, our top 20 out there on the racetrack, and it is a dogfight back here throughout our 20s here. A lot of these drivers basically from, I'd say, 19th all the way back to that number 18 of Michael Carter in 29th. So about 10 drivers, you can throw a blanket over them here, battling hard out there on the speedway. Now, we did see Connor Fuge work his way down pit road, so Fuge did come down pit side back on lap number 40. Unfortunately, though, looks like he's going to stay down here for an extended period of time. Now, I believe that was maybe just a scheduled pit stop for him, or maybe it was unscheduled, and now we're just seeing him stay parked down pit road. It's a heartbreaker there for Connor Fuge, as he only ran about 40 laps of this feature event, and now does see himself go at least 3 laps down, and quickly about to be 4 laps down, and potentially taking himself out of contention here this evening. But nonetheless, some great racing, some great battling, as Emma in the chat says, let's go Gage, cheering on Gage Wenzel here, cheering on Gage out there on the speedway, as Gage trying to battle back here. He was able to lead some laps early on, but now falling back into that 3rd position. He'll be battling to try to hold on to it as Dwayne Furtick having some good run, some good speed here with those tires late in this run, and we're gonna probably quickly start to see more and more drivers head down pit road, but I do see maybe a few of them trying to extend it a little bit farther here and trying to split this race up. If it stays clean and green, especially through one wave of green flag pit cycles, I feel like we're going to see a lot of these drivers trying to make it somewhere around lap number 50, maybe just a little bit past lap 50 here to make sure that they're good on a 3-stop cycle here this afternoon, and virtually saving 2 extra sets of tires here later in this race. But as I say that, we do see pretty much our first taker down pit side from the front of the field here, Tyler Chronister. Chronister is going to make the call. He shoots down pit road here. Will this get the party started? Unfortunately for Connor Fuge, it looks like for the 14 ride, he's going to stay down pit side here and not coming out onto the racetrack. And now we do see, oh no, this is Brian King. King with massive damage here on the 15 ride. Looks like he's gotten up into the outside fence. Something is broken in that 15 ride. I don't know if the motor's going on it or what's going wrong here. You do see some smoke starting to roll out from underneath of it, so I'm not sure if there was an electrical fire or if an engine issue here, but nonetheless, he's getting the damage repair flag from iRacing telling him that he has to come down pit road because he's got some damage on that race car that is affecting his ride here this evening. And for the Top Tattoo Machine, this is not the time you want to be down pit road, but if they can get it repaired, get it fixed up, get him back out there, maybe it'll work into his favors. Now we do see the number 39 ride at Dallas Humans. Humans also down pit road here, just a little bit shy of lap number 50. Here comes Matt Walters in the number 10 machine as well, but for all the drivers still out in front here, when you look at, you know, Jonathan Cofield, Adam Boughton, Dwayne Furtick now up and into third here. Matt Sisler's in fourth. Gage Wenzel's all the way back into that 5th position. May even lose another spot here to Trevor Massetti and fall back to 6 as we do see our race leader, Jonathan Cofield. Alexa come down pit road here. This is going to be on lap number 50. So he pits here on the 50th lap of this feature event. And this is definitely going to be a strategy that I think he's going to look to use this afternoon. Pit on lap 50, pit on lap 100, pit again on lap 150. And then try to hold these guys off late in this race and hope that your tires are good enough to keep them back there at bay. But out in front, Adam Boughton now continues the race lead, Boughton out in front, but you'll see how much better these fresh tires are as our race leader just watched that 39 ride of Dallas Humans with those fresh tires not only make the pass down through 3 and 4, but down the front straightaway, able to pull out in front by, 3, 4, 5 car lengths here in front of that 94 ride. So it's just showing you how much these tires mean to the drivers out there on the speedway, and now sometimes using those tires early will help you out. Use them a little later and not giving yourself enough time or putting yourself into a position where, potentially you just don't have enough time to get all that track position back and put yourself back into the battle here will unfortunately hurt you. But we do see Cedric Ingram down pit road and the number 32. Jaden Newson's down pit side. Unfortunately, it looks like Matt Walters still down pit road here. Walters has been down pit road for an extended period of time now himself. And for Jaden Newson has gone to black flag here. Too fast down pit road, exiting pit lane for the 78 ride. He is going to have to make an additional pit stop here, a pass through or a hold penalty here down pit road. So a heartbreaker there for Jaden Newson, as that's going to set him back even farther. Now we do see another driver, the 3 machine of Brandon Warlick. Warlick now running into some damage repair issues here as well. Looks like he's gotten up, pancaked the outside fence, now misses his pit stall, has to throw it into reverse, has to let the crew go to work, get this thing fixed up and back out there on the speedway without losing up even more track position than he had to start this race, as unfortunately he started at the rear of the field, and it can't get any worse than starting at the back. Obviously you gain 1-2 positions, you're moving forward, but obviously you don't want to be just gain 1 or 2 spots out there when you start 31st. You want to work yourself all the way up here into contention, not only for, a good run, a solid top 5, but maybe just a top 10, top 15 run. Could definitely feel like a win when you start this deep in the field, as we do see Jaden Newson back down pit road. He's going to serve his penalty. Unfortunately, it is a hold penalty down pit road for the speeding down pit side there for the 78 ride. So he'll be held down pit road for an extended period of time, plus already having to make the additional trip down pit lane. This is probably going to put Jaden a couple laps down out there on the speedway, and this is really going to hurt his chances here this evening of trying to put himself up and into the winner's circle. Matt Walters also looks like he's done for the day as he's still down pit side here. Now, we did see Connor Fuge down pit road for an extended period of time. Now we see Max Koss with issues. What's going on here with these damage clocks here for a lot of these drivers? Dalton Wicker, he's down pit road. No damage issue there for him, but we do see Drew King now has one as well. Potentially an overheating issue, something going on here for these drivers where they're starting to run into some of these issues here, especially after only, 58, 60 laps of racing action out there on the speedways. Adam Boughton continues to lead the way here. Boughton out in front, Dwayne Furtick's there in second, Matt Sisler, Doug Denise, Trevor Massetti, our top five. Gage Wessel's falling back into sixth with Richard Wolsifer. Wolsifer's up and into seventh now. Jack Simpson, Gavin Grubbs, Kent Mueller, the top 10 out there on the speedway. But we now do see Fred Pennington also has the damage repair flag on his car. Drew King also does, as he'll hit pit stall, and he'll get some work done to his race car as well. But it does look like for Jaden Newson, he's going to stay down pit road here, obviously for a very extended time, as he is now, I believe, at least 7 laps down out there on the racetrack. Potentially going to be even more here in a quick hurry, as our race leaders are actually already back down and around him here. So he is multiple laps down now out there on the racetrack. And for Adam Boughton, he continues to lead the way here. Now, I think Google AI definitely lied to us, chat. They said they would make about 45 to 50 laps on fuel here in these race cars, and obviously they're going a lot farther than that. These guys have now completed 62 laps of racing action. We still have about half our field, just a little over half our field, all yet to make their first pit stop of the day. Now we do see Tyler Chronister's down pit side in the Xfinity Mobile number 19 machine, so they'll go to work there on his race car. Jonathan Cofield, who was our race leader before this wave of green flag pit stops, Cofield finds himself now in the 17th position. I believe he is back on to, no, he's not back on the lead lap. So he's chasing down Dwayne Furtick and Adam Boughton, trying to put himself back on the lead lap here through green flag conditions, but also trying to put himself into a spot where maybe, just maybe, things will work in his favor here. If the game plan keeps on going for a couple of these other drivers, they may continue to fall back, and obviously tire wear, everything else may give him a huge lead, as now we do see Matt Sisler. Sisler's down pit side as well, so Matt Sisler looks like he's gotten the damage repair flag as well. He's down pit road, and he's going to miss his pit stall. He's got to back it up. The crew's going to go to work on his race car in the 3 birdies number 31. Looks like he's going to get an extra set of tires and try to roll back out there on the speedway. Unfortunately, same cannot be said for Jaden Newson, and I believe for Matt Walters finally getting back out there. The last green flag lap he was able to complete was lap number 48. So he's getting closer and closer, being down 20 laps here this evening. And those pit road mistakes, those damaged race cars, and obviously some issues here throughout this race for the 10 ride and a few of these other drivers, just being stuck that deep in the field that many laps down will put you into a very, very difficult spot out there on the racetrack. But we do see that number 58 ride of Jonathan Cofield. These are the fresh tires compared to the extremely old tires. So here we go, the 58 ride down to the inside. No fighting chance there for Adam Boughton, as Evo is going to watch the 58 machine drive his way back onto the lead lap. And now for Boughton, he's going to hit pit road perfectly here. He cannot make any mistakes, and hope that whatever he's burning up right now, that you can get back. But look out! There it is! Our first caution flag of the day. Jack Simpson tore up in this one, and I do believe we're going to see the 56 or Richard Wolsifer also tied up in this one. As, oh man, heartbreaker there for Jack Simpson, as he's going to have to tow it down pit road. And it looks like maybe Brandon Warlick with a big run here. Warlick's rolling up on him. Quick hurry. The 24 shoots down. Excuse me there, as we saw Jack Simpson shoot down to the inside here of the 56 of Richard Wolsifer. He makes a big move, but the 3 ride comes in and just kind of cleans him out right here. I'm not sure if this was on purpose or if this was just, I'm assuming, just a complete accident. A lot of times this is what we see here at the short track speedways. One driver kind of backs the corner up, and I think for Jack Simpson, he was kind of in that progress of kind of slowing the corner down a little bit here. He's on older tires still for that 24 ride. So isn't Richard Wolsifer. So both drivers on old tires compared to new tires. And I think just the 3 machine thought that he was going to get a good enough run, trying to get to the inside of the 24. Unfortunately, just misjudged his entry point here and how quickly that gap was closing. Drives right through that back rear bumper of the 24 ride, gets him loose. He washes up the racetrack, hard contact into that left rear of the stance-built 56 of Richard Wolsifer. That puts Wolsifer up and into the outside fence, as well as Jack Simpson. Hard contact there into the wall as well. And then we're going to see, I believe it was the 12 ride. I could be wrong here. Who's the other driver that gets in here? Absolutely tease him. Oh, it's the 18 of Michael Carter. Oh, heartbreaker here for Carter as he's headed in here. He's just storming through corner number 1 and 2. All of a sudden, there's a couple cars parked sideways. He can't get checked up quick enough. Does not get low, and unfortunately drives right on through that driver's side door of Jack Simpson. Hopefully Jack is A-okay. That was a big hit there into the driver's side door. But nonetheless, we do see Michael Carter down pit road. Wolsifer's been down there a couple times. So hasn't Jack Simpson. Trying to get these cars fixed up. Trying to get back out there onto the speedway. But we will now get everyone that was yet to come down pit side. They're going to make pit stops here. Everyone else that was already down pit road, they are going to get either a lucky dog or a free pass back on the lead lap here. And I think this is going to really set a lot of these drivers back here. When you look at the 99 ride of Tyler Chronister, Human, Cedric Ingram, Brian King, Dalton Wicker, Matt Sisler, Drew King, a lot of these drivers were 1 or 2 laps down out there on the speedway, may still be 1 lap down, but they are also now have much older tires here than our race leader. So not only do you lose a lot of track position, but you also, kind of get trapped a lap or 2 down out there on the speedway, and that makes things very, very tough as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As the 51 ride of Dwayne Furtick has the race lead. He was able to beat Boughton down and out of pit lane, and for Boughton, he'll restart here in position number 2. Dwayne Furtick out in front, and he's hoping to keep himself there, but we are going to get an extended caution flag here. Extended yellow. I do believe potentially more issues here for the 99 ride of Tyler Chronister as he tries to get checked up here. It's the outside of the 3 ride. I believe they're still trying to get everyone lined up, trying to figure out where everyone needs to go. And I think for the 99 to stop there on the racetrack, that's where we get the extended yellow flag from. Now, he was the lucky dog. He got the free pass back on the lead lap, but unfortunately here, a lot of times with iRacing, when you get that lucky dog, you got to start at the rear of the field, and here in iRacing, for some reason, it puts you behind the wave around cars as well. So you virtually have to come to a stop, allow all the wave around cars to get around you before we go green flag racing. And unfortunately for Chronister, that puts him very deep out there onto the speedway as we'll get Furtick, Boughton, all these drivers ready to go back to battle. As you do see the 88 ride of Trevor Massetti. He's up in the 3rd. The Safe Light 40 ride of Doug Denise. They are now in 4th. I believe it is the 8 ride of Kent Mueller now in 5th. The 7 of Corey Denk is there in 6th. And we do see the 11 ride of John Osborne there in 7th. Jonathan Cofield's up there. Gavin Grubbs, Michael Sheffield, Anthony Ludy, Gage Wenzel, They were all on the lead lap there at the time of that caution flag. They were all down pit road on lap number 69 here, and that's going to set them up nicely, as unfortunately here for Dallas Humans, Cendric Ingram, Brian King, Tyler Chronister, that's going to put them back deeper in the field here, and obviously with older tires, older equipment after running, 20, 22, 23 laps, more than what these other drivers have, and obviously, now you're going to be playing catch-up all night long, as we do see Tyler Chronister. He's down pit road, maybe looking to get some extra fuel or tires onto the 99. Riders will get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing this time, as nice and easy down and into corner number 4. There we go. Okay, we're back to live, and there it is. The 51 of Dwayne Furtick. Great launch, great start, and quickly for Furtick, able to clear that 94 of Adam Boughton. Really had nothing there for him on that restart, and unfortunately here, will slide back still into second, but unfortunately does see the 51 machine pull out 2, 3, 4 car lengths just in front of him as Dwayne Furtick clicks off lap number 75 here this evening. So 75 laps completed here in this one. Boughton sticks there in second. Jeff Carson's now up and into third with Doug Denise, Trevor Massetti, Corey Denk, our top 6 out there on the Speedway. Jonathan Cofield, who was the race leader at the time of the of these green flag pit stops. He was out in front, elected to come down pit road early, had pitted back on lap number 50. Now, he had raced his way just back onto the lead lap prior to this caution flag. So he's back onto the lead lap. He was able to get down pit road. I don't know if he took tires, but I'm sure he probably definitely took some fuel. And for Jonathan Cofield, obviously either down a set of tires now in that track position, or just down that track position and going to see his tires fall off here sooner rather than later around all these other drivers, but still battling hard as he works to the outside here of Corey Denk for position number 6 on the Speedway. Kent Mueller's right there in 8th with John Osborne, Michael Sheffield, our top 10 out there on the Speedway, but out in front, it's all Dwayne Furtick. Furtick leading the charge here. He's been on fire here to start his season. He's been on fire to start this year, and obviously for a lot of these drivers, you're trying to work your way up to them. You're trying to put yourself into a position that you can battle with this 51 ride, but we've seen just some unreal gears out of that number 51 machine, and even after already missing our first race of the season back at Daytona, Dwayne Furtick sits 3rd in points. He's already got 2 wins on the season. He's sitting pretty here going into our playoffs and feeling real fine, sitting here with him and Matt Sisler, teammates there, 2nd and 3rd here in the point standings. And for each and every one of these drivers, they'll still be looking to chase him down. John Osborne, he's back in the 9th spot here in the point standings. He's got a win. Jonathan Cofield last week picked up a dump here. Tyler Chronister, who's got a win, a pole on the season. He's back in position number 12 here in the point standings, and obviously he ran into some problems there. Obviously made some early green flag pit stops there as well. Now, he had ended up back on a lead lap with the lucky dog, but quite a ways back behind a lot of these other drivers, and we'll be playing catch up here to Dwayne Furtick throughout this run until either Dwayne starts to fall back, the front of the field starts to roll out of it. But we do see Jaden Newsom picked up the win in our season opener. We saw Kent Mueller pick up a dub. Jack Simpson's gotten a win now on this season. So there's quite a few drivers that have found victory lane throughout our first 7 races here of the season. We still got a lot to go here. We still got a lot of racing action, still a lot of time to battle and beat and bang out there on the Speedway and try to put yourself up and into the winner's circle here this evening. And I think there's a lot of guys that are hoping that they can punch through and pick up a dub. I don't think anyone wants to see Dwayne Furtick pick up another win here and get his 3rd early on in this season. Adam Boughton right there in 2nd. He knows this is going to be one that he could definitely pick up the dub in for Cofield. He's looking to stay hot, trying to make it 2 in a row. Jeff Carson looking for his first win here in the series. So isn't Doug Denise back there in that 40 ride. Trevor Massetti just looking for a good solid run and maybe his first win here on the year. And honestly, then you do see John Osborne. Osborne's back there in that 7th position. He was at the rear of the field not too long ago. We saw him rolling back in the 31st position. Now the 11 ride right up here in the hunt at the front. Same with Corey Denk as well. So that untimely caution flag through the middle of that pit cycle really messed things up here for a lot of these drivers. But now that we're back under green flag conditions, we're rolling here, beating and banging, battling once again. Drivers are trying to work their way forward. Other drivers are just trying to hang on and keep themselves on the lead lap here, as I believe we got 17 drivers still in the lead lap here this afternoon. Matt Sisler is the first driver, 1 lap down. Dalton Wicker also 1 lap down, trying to jump into that lucky dog position if he can get in front of this 31 ride. So they're going to battle hard here for that lucky dog. The 31 of Sisler does not want to give it up. Dalton Wicker does want to take it away. Fred Pennington back in 20 with Ryan Chronister. Max Koss, Drew King, Dylan Huso, Brandon Warlick, our top 25 out there on the Speedway. Richard Wolsifer, he's back in 26 with Connor Fuge there in 27. Matt Walter still rolling out there. He scored back in 28th, and unfortunately it looks like Jack Simpson, Michael Carter, and Jaden Newson all may be done here this afternoon. They're all either down pit road or back down behind pit wall and out of this race at this moment in time. And if you are even Jack Simpson, Carter, Jaden Newson, you're already, 20, 30, 40 laps down out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, not going to be able to make that kind of time up. Unfortunately, you're kind of just locked back there, hoping that maybe more drivers run into issues. Maybe you can leapfrog a couple of them and earn yourself at least a few points here on the evening. It looked like early on, potentially, that Walters, who was down pit road early, same with Connor Fuge, that, they'd be coming home last place out there on the Speedway back in 31st and 30th. But now that we've seen Jack Simpson, Michael Carter, Jaden Newson run into problems, it's opened up the door for both of them to gain 3 spots out there on the racetrack, and now running, just inside our top 30 out there on the racetrack. But those extra couple points could be the make or break between having a playoff berth. They're unfortunately missing out on the playoffs here this year for the Hypershift Racing League IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. As you're in this one, man, the Tiny Toes 171 from Iowa Speedway. It's been a great show, man. Great race. Only the 1 caution flag, but for Dwayne Furtick, Adam Boughton, they are looking A-OK out in front. Cofield's right back up into that 3rd spot on the Speedway. So for Cofield, he's trying to work his way back to the point, but another decent green flag run. We were able to go back green flag racing. I believe this was back to green flag racing on lap number 75. So for each and every one of these drivers, we're rolling into another 20 lap run here in a quick hurry. As for Dwayne Furtick, down through 3 and nice and easy out at corner number 4, back down across the line. Here it is. We're virtually at that 20 lap marker right now. Next time by will be 20 laps of green flag racing coming back to the line. So for each and every one of these drivers, we just ran what was about a 66, 67 lap green flag run there prior to that caution flag. Now that we started to click off these laps again, you got to be wondering if we're going to be seeing the exact same thing. And that's going to drive a lot of these drivers to probably just be patient. Kind of wait until you are empty in fuel here, pretty much until it is your final lap on gas, and you can't go any farther before you got to come back down pit road, because these untimely caution flags could fly. It could really work into your benefit. It could really set a lot of these other drivers back there behind the 8 ball and deep in the field, and really with older equipment, older tires, and unfortunately just going to be at a world of hurt here. As man, unfortunately for all these guys, when you look back here at some of them that were back on the lead lap, like Dallas Humans or Cendric Ingram, Brian King, Tyler Chronister, these guys were all back on the lead lap here, and unfortunately they all just cannot stick with this lead group. They can just not catch up to these guys because they have that, 20 lap older tires than the drivers in front of them. And unfortunately, they're just kind of hung out to dry until we get another caution flag or another wave of green flag pit stops. Ryan Chronister right now is now the first driver 1 lap down as Ryan will work his way around the 77 machine of Dalton Wicker, but Wicker battling hard here to his outside. Unfortunately, Matt Sisler falls back into 20th. He is no longer in that lucky dog position as Wicker and Chronister will battle there for that 18th position, knowing that that wave around the lucky dog could definitely get you right back into the hunt at the front. But sitting back here a lap down right now, not seeing a caution flag anytime soon, and now already about to be 100 laps complete and halfway through this feature event. You gotta be starting to feel that pressure, the intensity ramp up, because you know that we're halfway in, we're halfway to go here at Iowa Speedway. And really, I mean, even with those caution laps, that took us about 43 minutes of racing action. So if we do see some more cautions, obviously that can be a little bit longer, but for a lot of these drivers, knowing that, you can run half this race in probably about 40 minutes of action out there on the speedway really brings into that big question mark on how hard do you want to push it and how quickly do you want to put yourself in line to get the dump here this evening, especially with late race green flag pit stops. And I believe from where everyone pitted and how far their fuel got them in that first run, I'm going to say these guys only have to make one more green flag pit stops. Now, there are going to be a few drivers that may elect to make an additional 1 or 2 stops here throughout the rest of the race, just to make sure that they're not only good on fuel, but get a little extra good tire there and give up time down pit side, but get the benefit of the fresh tires out there on the speedway. We can definitely see some late race gamblers for guys that are stuck in a tough position, that find themselves deep in the field and just trying to have a good solid day. Maybe it's time to make a big swing at things, and maybe making that earlier stop could work into their favor. I mean, for some of these other guys staying out late like we saw in that first green flag pit stop cycle, worked out really, really nice for them as Dwayne Furtick out in front. Furtick continues to lead the way. His teammate Drew King is back a little farther here. King is sitting back. Not Drew King, it's Brian King, his teammate, in that 15 ride. He's fallen back now as the last driver on the lead lap here. Unfortunately, with coming down pit side back on lap number 47, not only does it put you at risk here with the older tires to be running slower and not being able to hang with those race leaders, but you're also at a huge disadvantage because you're already running into some massive tire wear. He's running about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds slower than his quick time out there on the speedway. And for this 15 machine, he's got to be really, really careful because he is not too far away from potentially going a lap down again out there on the racetrack. He's got a bit of back straightaway between himself and his teammate Dwayne Furtick. I know Furtick doesn't probably want to put his teammate another lap down or a lap down out there on the speedway. Unfortunately, though, he starts to lid off of it. He starts to open up that door there for Adam Fountain or Jonathan Cofield. You know that they're going to jump right up and try to steal this top spot away from him and keep him back there at bay for the closing laps of this feature event. Now, we did see a lot of these drivers kind of making some different strategy calls. We did see Dylan Huso down pit road here, and it looks like Huso's going to get a black flag as well. So an unscheduled pit stop there for Dylan Huso. The 33 machine came down pit side on lap 102. Received a black flag for too fast entering pit road, and the 33 machine has taken his car back down behind pit wall and potentially out of this race. So a heartbreaker there for Dylan Huso as that's going to put him out of this feature event, and for the 33 ride, not the drive that you wanted here this evening, and not the performance that you wanted here in race number 8 of our season. But you see a lot of moving up here. Drivers still trying to get forward. Drivers still trying to work their way up towards the top 10. You take a look at that 95 ride of Anthony Ludy. Ludy rolling there in that 13th position. He's up 8 spots on the racetrack. He's just been kind of sitting back here quietly, but having himself a fairly pleasant day. And I'm sure, without a doubt here, in these closing laps, he may put the pressure on Gage Wenzel and a lot of these other drivers for another good, solid top 10 run out there on the Speedway. As we do see Furtick out in front. Adam Boughton's there in second. Jonathan Cofield right back up into third here now for Cofield. Not sure if he's already made that additional pit stop. He was down pit road on lap number 50, came back down pit side with everyone else there on lap number 69 here. That's inside of our top 13 out there on the Speedway right now. Is our top 13. We're all down pit road on lap 69 during that caution flag. Everyone else back there behind them, besides our lucky dog driver, Tyler Chronister, everyone else was down pit road around, lap 62, lap 47, lap 58 throughout that first green flag run, and it's definitely made things very, very interesting here on the pit strategy and tire strategy, and how's it going to work out for them. Is now we do see Brian King coming down pit road. So King has to make a pit stop here, and that's the big thing with a lot of these drivers. When you look back here at some of these cats that were down pit road back on, lap 47, lap 48, they're starting to run out of fuel now, as well as you do see Cedric Ingram now going to hit pit lane. When does Dallas Newman's got to come down pit road? We know he was last down pit side on lap number 48, so he's got a lot of laps under his belt here in this number 39 ride. Even with those caution laps and being able to save a little bit, he's got to be very, very close to having to make his next wave of green flag pit stops out there on the Speedway. Obviously, Ingram and King had already chose to come back down pit road, and for Brian King, man, it's a tough break for him as he's now a couple laps down, scored back in that 24th position, but out in front. His teammate Dwayne Furtick continues to hold on to the top spot. Furtick out in front, continues to lead the charge here. Boughton Cofield sticking right there with him, not really letting him run away with it, keeping him honest here at the front of the field. But our top three have gave themselves a bit of a gap here. They got about a second and a bit in front of Jeff Carson here in that fourth position. He's got another second back to John Osborne. Osborne's there in fifth position. Right now, he is our hard charger, up 21 spots on the Speedway. Started all the way back in, 26th position. Now up inside our top 5, sitting pretty here after 115 laps of racing action. Trevor Massetti's there in 6th. Doug Denise, Corey Dent, Kent Mueller, Michael Sheffield, our top 10 out there on the racetrack. But we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. The pay window is opening, and for each and every one of these drivers, the opportunities to try to put yourself up into victory lane are starting to run fairly thin out there on the Speedway, and it's going to make things very, very interesting. As, now we do see Tyler Chronister. Tyler's down pit road. Man, I didn't see him get into the fence. There doesn't look to be any major damage here for that number 99 ride, but he did get a damaged repair, and he does get a penalty coming down pit road here. Looks like too fast entering pit lane for the 99 ride. Came in with so much speed, he almost took out the sand barriers there at the entrance of pit road. Luckily enough, he's able to avoid them. Unfortunately, though, does get nabbed for speeding, and for the 99 ride, this will come with a hold down pit road, and this is definitely going to put him into a bind here this afternoon. More than likely going to lose multiple laps here down pit road and put himself into a very difficult spot here just past the midway point of this feature event. But out in front, Dwayne Furtick continues to lead the way as across the line they complete lap 119 here this evening. Is nice and easy down through corner number 1 and 2, back down the back straightaway here. He's grown about a 0.7 of a second lead between himself and Adam Boughton. Jonathan Cofield there in third as they round corner number 4. Back down and across the line here. They will complete lap 120. So 120 laps down. 80 laps left to go here in the Tiny Toes 171 live from Iowa Speedways. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, a great crank it up session here this evening, giving us the sights and sounds around the beautiful Iowa Speedway. As out in front, continuing to lead the charge in the number 51 machine, it is Dwayne Furtick. Furtick still has that race lead, but he does have some fresh tires rolling around him. There goes that 77 of Mr. Dalton Wicker. Wicker's got some fresh tires as a lot of these drivers have been slowly but surely migrating their way down pit road and making green flag pit stops here throughout this run. Now, other drivers sticking out a little bit while longer, as you do see Dwayne Furtick looking to try to lap the 36 of Gage Wenzel here. Wenzel, he's yet to come back down pit road as well since lap number 69, but he is potentially about to lose a lap here to that number 51 ride of Dwayne Furtick. Furtick trying to stick right there with them as they roll nice and easy out there on the speedway. And back down across the line, they'll click up another lap here at the beautiful Iowa Speedways. 143 laps down. And only 57 laps left to go here in this feature event. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. And obviously for a lot of these drivers, green flag pit stops are on the horizon here. Right now, our top 11, technically our top 12, haven't been down pit road since lap 69. Sisler, who is in that 12th position, still in the lucky dog spot. Last time he was down pit lane was lap number 12. Now we do see Michael Sheffield. Looks like he's ran into some issues here. Now I wonder if this is a shifting problem. I wonder if a couple of these drivers that we've seen get the damage repair flags here from race control, I wonder if that is potentially them making a bad shift, unfortunately upshifting when they're looking to downshift, you know, into one of these corners or out of one of these corners to where they've made damage for their race cars and now having to come down pit road and get that damage repair, get that shifter looked at and getting back out onto the racetrack here. And you do see Sheffield, obviously he gets that flag, he comes right down pit road, the crew's able to get it fixed up, he makes his pit stop, now he's rolling back out on the speedway. Now we see Drew King have the same issue. Drew King has the exact same problem. Now he heads down pit lane and he'll let his crew go to work out there on the speedway. But out in front, yet to make a problem here this afternoon is that 51 ride of Dwayne Furtick, but Furtick has had a rough go trying to lap the 36 ride of Gage Wenzel. Wenzel did not want to lose a lap there. He battled hard for a long time with Dwayne Furtick. Furtick has been able to get around him, but now Gage trying to stick right there with him. Unfortunately, gets very tight down and out of corner number 2, washes up the racetrack, luckily enough, catches it before getting into the outside fence. But you do see Adam Boughton right there as well. Boughton still within striking distance here of our race leader, Dwayne Furtick. So it's not just clean sailing for Dwayne. This 94 ride started to come on strong here later in this run. Cofield's right there with them, back in that third position. A second back, you do see John Osborne rolling there in fourth. Jeff Carson rounding out our top 5 right now on the Speedway. Trevor Massetti having himself a wonderful night here at the Speedway, back there in that 6th position. But now we do see Jeff Carson and Gage Wenzel both come down pit road. So Wenzel heads down pit side here. He's looking to make what could be his final pit stop here of the evening. Same with Jeff Carson. If this stays clean and green, I don't think we're going to see drivers make another pit stop here this afternoon, except for the drivers that are currently sitting, you know, up inside our top 10 now out there on the racetrack. We do see Cofield now headed down pit road. Anthony Ludi also down pit side. Ludi already down a lap here. He'd given up a lot of time out there to our race leaders, so the 95 ride also hits pit lane. Now I believe Sisler still needs to come down pit side. We may see a few of these drivers that made super early pit stops here in this green flag cycle, like Cedric Ingram and maybe the 15 rider Brian King, have to make their way back down pit road as well. They were down pit side on lap 111, lap 112. I'm not sure if they'll be able to make it that far or not, but definitely going to be a potential. I mean, I think maybe they can make it that far, but here we go. Battle for the race lead. The 94 of Boughton on the outside does take it away, and at the same time, Dwayne Furtick hangs a hard left-hand turn down pit road, and our race leader, Dwayne Furtick, it's pit lane here. So he's the first one of our top 3 to, well, actually second one of our top 3 with the 32 ride, or 58 ride at Cofield, already down pit road and back out there. Dwayne does not wait very much longer, and neither does Adam Boughton. Is Boughton right down pit side here a lap later than that 51 machine. So green flag pit stop starting to fly aplenty here as the 11 ride out in front. Now we do see the 14 of Connor Few jump into the outside fence there through 1 and 2. Luckily enough able to hang on to it. Doug Denise rolls there in second. Kent Mueller's back in position, number 3 here on the Speedway, but they're obviously stretching out that field a little bit farther. And for Boughton, it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out compared to that 51 ride. They were door to door, as we saw the 51 of Dwayne Furtick head down pit lane. Now the 94 ride, he's going to come out onto the racetrack here, and I believe he may have a bit of advantage here over that 51 of Dwayne Furtick as they start rolling and building up that speed. Where's Boughton? Here he comes down and into corner number 3. So he's up to speed. He's got the race lead. He's got a bit of a gap here between himself and Furtick, about 2.5 seconds, but you got to wonder. We saw Boughton go for a 2-tire pit stop right there. Did Dwayne Furtick go for 2 tires as well? Let's take a look back. Let's take a look here at the 51 machine. Let's see if we get another angle at this race car and his pit stop. So for Dwayne Furtick, okay, so there's right sides going on to this 51 machine. So he's definitely getting 2 tires here. They're going to let it down, and I believe he's going to get a 4-tire pit stop in here. There it is, 4 tires for that Launch Attack Dell number 51 ride. So that could give him the advantage he needs late in this race to chase down Adam Boughton. Boughton going with the strategy call, looking for the race lead, and obviously looking, you know, with the 2-tire stop here, that it could put him into a winning position. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out, man. It's already about 0.4 of a second clicked off of his lead between himself and Dwayne Furtick. So Furtick has been able to work through traffic and close the gap there on Adam Boughton, as John Osborne now looking to head down pit road here himself. Kent Mueller also down pit side as the Amazon, powered by AWS, the Amazon Web Servers, number 8 machine heads down pit road, and they'll get their pit stops in. It looks like Corey Denk, last driver here to really kind of make a pit stop here. Green flag pit stop. No, he was down pit road on lap 140. Corey D out in front here, obviously playing some tire strategy himself, and for the 7 ride, he ends up in the top spot. He's got that race lead, but he does have about 13 lap older tires, and I think he may have went for a no-tire pit stop here to really give himself that big of a launch forward and that big of an advantage here over Boughton, Furtick, and the rest of the field. And unfortunately, you know, as of right now, it may not work out as the race win, but at least sitting in second here as Boughton does take that race lead away from him. And for the Tiny Toes number 7 ride, at least able to jump out there, lead some laps here in the Tiny Toes. 171 here from Iowa Speedway in the Hypershift Racing League IMB Racewear NASCAR Series here this afternoon. His race number 8 has been a very exciting one. Only 1 caution flag out there on the Speedway. 1 caution flag. Other than that, we have been clean and green. A ton of green flag laps here at Iowa Speedway. These guys just been putting on a absolutely amazing show for us here this evening, and it looks like we're going to have a very exciting close to this race as well, as Dwayne Furtick rolling in second here. Adam Boughton out in front. Boughton's got the race lead, and he's actually kind of stretched it out a little bit over Dwayne Furtick. So he's actually gained quite a bit here on Furtick and has pulled a little farther away from that number 51 ride. Last time around, he was about 0.3 quicker than that 51 machine. So maybe just the clean air, or maybe Furtick is just being a little bit more patient. He knows that there's still a lot of laps left here in this feature event, so no need to rush it, no need to push the subject and burn his tires up now, trying to reel in that 94 ride when he can just wait for the 94 to back up to him here after, you know, maybe 20-30 laps of green flag racing. But we are only 37 laps away from seeing this checkered flag, so you don't want to wait too long. You don't want to let him build a big enough gap that you can't track him down here in these closing laps. But we do see Furtick able to work his way around Corey Tank, so Corey does fall back into that third position here. Jonathan Cofield back up into position number 4, as we do see Jeff Carson there in 5th. Gavin Grubbs has fallen back into 6th. Trevor Massetti's there in 7th with Doug Denise. John Osborne, Brian King, our top 10 out there on the Speedway. Michael Sheffield is scored back in 11th with Ken Mueller, Anthony Ludi, Gage Wenzel there in 14th. Dalton Wicker and his Tiny Toes number 77 ride there in 15th. And then we do see Ryan Chronister, Max Koss, Matt Sisler, Cedric Ingram, and Drew King running at the top 20. Fred Pennington, Tyler Chronister, Brandon Warlick, Richard Wolsifer, Connor Fujar, top 25. Dallas Humans looks like he is done and out of this race. Back in the 26th position, Matt Walters, Dylan Huso, Jack Simpson, Michael Carter, and Jaden Newson rounding out the rear of the field here as our bottom 6 drivers. Looks like they are done for the day. They've taken their cars down pit side and have not rejoined this race here this evening as Fuge rolls back here in that 25th position. The deepest running driver still active out there on the racetrack as of right now. But out in front, it's all Adam Belton. Is Belton has the race lead. He's sitting pretty here at the front of the field and hoping to try to keep Dwayne Furtick, Jonathan Cofield, and the rest of this field back there at bay and hoping that he can work his way up into the Iowa Speedway victory lane here this evening. But it's going to get very, very interesting in a quick hurry, because for Dwayne Furtick, he's chasing down this 94 ride, and now he all of a sudden has a teammate right in front of our race leader, that 31 ride of Matt Sisler, a part of the Legion Inc. racing team here in this season. Matt Sisler has joined Dwayne Furtick and John Osborne, and now kind of in between a pair of the Allegiant rides is our race leader, that 94 machine. I'm assuming that Dwayne Furtick is going to be relaying to his teammate that he's chasing down this 94 ride. As much as you don't want to get into him, as much as you don't want to affect the race, but if you can put up a bit of a fight, if you can try to slow him down just a little bit and keep him a little bit more at bay, it could definitely allow that 51 of Dwayne Furtick to catch up to him a whole lot quicker than he is out there on the racetrack, as the gap has shrunken a little bit here. It's down to about 2.8 seconds between Belton and Furtick out there on the Speedway. So slowly but surely, Dwayne is starting to reel back into him, is starting to catch up to that race leader, Adam Belton, but not quick enough here. It may be just enough. If he can gain a 10th lap, he should be able to get there before the end of this race, but with only 29 laps left to go here in this feature event, man, you got to be picking up more than a 10th lap right now. You got to be really chewing into it here to reel him in. If you're picking up a 10th lap and you're sitting back, 2.8 seconds, I mean, you're going to be 28 laps just to catch him if you stay at that same pace, and now we're under 28 laps left to go. So it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him, and you may need a good handful or two laps to try to get yourself around this 94 ride late in this race, and especially when he starts to see more lap traffic in front of him. If they can be cordial, move out of his way, maybe be a little bit of a pick for him in between that 51 right with Dwayne Furtick, it could work perfectly into Adam Belton's area of expertise here this afternoon, and into his benefit to try to pick up the checkered flag here this evening, as that last time around Dwayne did pick up about a 10th. This time it's about 2/10, so he is starting to chew away at it a little bit more, but still needs a huge chunk of change here in a quick hurry to really try to put the pressure to the back bumper of that 94 ride, as Adam Belton, nice and easy out of corner number 4, back down across the line, will complete lap 175. So 175 laps completed here this evening from Iowa Speedway, and now with only 25 laps left to go, does Adam Belton have enough to get it done and put himself up into victory lane? Or do we see Dwayne Furtick, Jonathan Cofield, one of these other drivers work their way up to him and steal this win from the 94 ride? As Sean O'Keefe says, come on, 36, you have that special set of tires and it's time to go back to the front. Definitely something that Gage Wenzel wants to see happen. Unfortunately for Gage and majority of this field, with so many green flag laps being laid down, Gage finds himself a lap down back here in that 14th position. So not only would need a caution flag and a wave around, but would also need another caution flag to get some fresh tires onto this 36 ride here late in this race. And right now they're just kind of stuck back there in a very, very tough position. And as of right now, there's only 9 drivers left on the lead lap. Kent Mueller is the first driver, 1 lap down out there on the speedway. Gavin Grubbs, last driver on the lead lap, and he is not too far away himself from potentially seeing Adam Boughton on his back bumper, putting him a lap down out there on the track. In the last couple laps around, Boughton has actually built the lead back up here. It's back to about 3.2 seconds. So Dwayne Furtick kind of getting held up here in lap traffic, and unfortunately Adam Boughton is pulling away from him here late in this race. So Boughton with the 2-tire strategy down pit side. It may be the winning bid here for the number 94 ride here this evening. Is nice and easy back down and out of core number 4 across the line here at Iowa Speedway. It is 20 laps left to go. 20 laps left. The gap is 3 seconds between himself and Furtick out there on the speedway. Unfortunately, Jonathan Cofield is about 5.4 seconds back of our race leader and does have a slightly older tires than the top 2 in front of him. Corey Denka, unfortunately, back there in 4th, but Corey, I mean, great strategy call by him. He was able to gain a lot of positions, making that, I believe, 2 or no tire strategy call. And for the Tiny Toes number 7 ride, rolls here in that 4th position on the racetrack. I believe he went with 2 tires, and it's worked out nicely for him. Doug Denise up and into position number 5 here on the speedway. Jeff Carson is there in 6th. John Osborne from deep in the field back there in 7th. I mean, you look at a couple of these drivers that are up here. Corey Dank started back in 28th, now rolls in 4th. For Jeff Carson, he started back in 25th. Here he is in 6th. And I believe for John Osborne, he started all the way back in position number 26 for John Osborne. Here he is in 7th. So a lot of those drivers outside our top 25, you know, have raced their way up here inside the top 5, inside the top 10, sitting pretty here late in this race. Trevor Massetti's there in 8th. Gavin Grubbs back in 9th. Kent Mueller rounding out our top 10, but some great runs brewing here for a bunch of these drivers. Even for Kent Mueller, he started back in 24th. Now sits in that 10th position, just inside the top 10. So quite a few drivers, looking like half of our top 10 started outside the top 20 and now race here at the front of the field. Alrighty, is Boughton down and across the line. We'll click off lap number 185, and it is 15 laps left to go here in this one. So 15 more laps left to duke it out here from Iowa Speedway. And for Adam Boughton, he continues just to sit pretty here. Still about 2.8 seconds between himself and Dwayne Furtick. Unfortunately for Furtick, I could have swore we were going to see this 51 ride really march up to Boughton's back bumper. The 4-tire pitch strategy compared to the 2-tire pitch strategy, I didn't think it was going to quite work out there for Adam Boughton, but obviously it has worked out perfectly into his hands. And for the 51 ride of Dwayne Furtick, he just kind of stuck back here, battling with some lap traffic. That's the 32 machine right there to his outside, battling hard with him. That is Cedric Ingram. The 19 ride of Tyler Chronister's right there as well, as we do see Brian King. Oh no, Brian's got a shifter issue as well, or something's gone wrong here. The top tattoo number 15 ride, and for Brian King, he has to make a late race pit stop here And for the 15th run, that's going to drop him back throughout the field here. Already slid back into the 19th position. He's going to continue to fall out there on the Speedway. Heartbreaker there for Brian, who's looking to have a good, solid run here this evening. Unfortunately, I believe that will probably finish him outside our top 20 here late in this race. But out in front, the 94 machine of Boughton will lap another driver. That'll move the 56 machine. Unfortunately, another lap down out there on the Speedway, and unfortunately for Richard Wolsifer, back in that 24th spot on the Speedway. Not the funnest spot to be out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately he's about, I don't even know, 12 laps down, 11 laps down, something like that, and unfortunately just lost another one there to Boughton. Will now be the only lap driver between himself and our top two drivers, but the gap is still about 3 seconds between Adam Boughton and Dwayne Furtick with only 10 laps left to go here in this feature event. And you do see Cofield starting to reel in this 51 of Dwayne Furtick. So I'm not sure what's gone wrong with this set of tires. I don't know if there was a big change here for Dwayne Furtick throughout this run, if he did something different, but unfortunately it has really set him back, and it seems like he's really struggled here with this set of tires. And for that 51 machine, obviously not catching up to Boughton, seeing that number 94 Ryan still holding a pretty decent gap between him and that 51. And obviously, Jonathan Cofield's actually caught up to both of them here quite a bit. He was back 5.4 seconds. He's now only about 3.2 seconds behind Adam Boughton, but really only about half a second back of that 51 Ryan. But they are all of a sudden starting to reel in this 94 to quick hurry. Oh, Boughton's going to be nervous here as all of a sudden Dwayne Furtick and Jonathan Cofield has turned up the wick, and they are chewing down the lap time in a quick hurry. Last time around, Boughton ran a 24-21. Dwayne Furtick and Cofield ran 23.9s, so about 0.3 quicker, and all of a sudden that 3-second gap has evaporated to about 2.1 seconds here. And down across the line, there is 6 laps left to go here in this race, so 6 more laps left to duke it out. But you do see the 51 get up, scrape the outside fence down the front straightaway. That may add an extra 10th or so to Adam Boughton's race lead, and now he's going to work his way around the outside of the 99 ride of I believe this is Tyler Chronister here, and Chronister will lose another lap here to our race leader. That's another lap car between himself and that second place driver. That's exactly what Boughton wants to see as he makes quick work there of the 99 ride, as Furtick down through corner number 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. It's still about 2.1 seconds with only 5 laps left to go. Be 4 laps this next time by the start finish line. So I think for Boughton, as long as you don't make any huge mistakes, as long as you do not get kind of trapped in behind a lap car here late in this race, he is sitting pretty with 4 laps left to go. He's got still 2 seconds between himself and Furtick, and if Furtick does make a mistake, if he does slip up, you know Cofield's going to be right there ready to bounce, ready to try to steal that second spot away from us. Here comes that 15 ride. Oh, baby. Brian King with some fresh tires there on that 15 ride. He's just going to blast right on through. Says, hey, how you doing? See you later. I'm going to go on by, and I'm going to keep on storming up towards the front here as, man, these guys just putting together an absolutely amazing race for us here this evening. As nice and easy down through corner number 3 and 4. Unfortunately, the Tiny Toes, number 77 of Dalton Wicker, will fall another lap down, but for Adam Boughton, he will click off lap number 198. It's only 2 laps left to go. Still 2 seconds between himself and Dwayne Furtick. At this rate, Furtick will not get there, and now having some issues trying to work his way around the 99 ride of Tyler Chronister. That's going to check him up a little bit more as Boughton down and across the line. We'll see the white flag fly. So one more time around here for the Boughton Enterprises LLC number 94, the 213 SimWear machine of Adam Boughton down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening. Down through 3 and out of corner number 4. It's all Evo. Adam Boughton picks up the checkered flag here at Iowa in the Tiny Toes 171 here this evening as the Hypershift Hypershift Racing League, the IMB Racewear NASCAR Series puts together another amazing race for us here this evening. Another immaculate night of racing action here. One caution flag, 200 laps of racing action, and one winner gets to celebrate here in this afternoon. It's the 94 of Adam Boughton, who gets the party and park himself up and in to the Iowa Speedway victory lane as he'll burn down the house and he'll get ready to celebrate. We'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top three up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Post-race interview is going to come up next here in just a couple seconds. We'll wait for these drivers to jump up into the waiting room here, and we'll pull them into the booth as the 95 ride of Mr. Ludi going to come up and congratulate his teammate on the big dub here this evening. That was definitely a much-needed win here this afternoon for the Revolution Motorsports team. They already have one win on the season with Kent Mueller finding victory lane, but now with Adam Boughton up into the winner's circle as well, they're feeling They are feeling A-OK about the run and the drive that they had, obviously, here this evening, and that their pace and that their cars are absolutely hooked up and compete with any of these other drivers. Any of these other teams, they are right there in the mix, in the hunt, and they'll be continuing to try to keep themselves here at the front and trying to put themselves up and into the winner's circles. We'll get ready to pull our top three up and into the booth here in just a few more moments. Now, Boughton, I'm not sure if he's celebrating or if he's, using the bathroom right now. We'll give him a little bit of time to jump up into the waiting room. All right, there he is. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Adam Boughton. Hey, Adam, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Adam, man, what a run, what a race for you here this evening, brother, as that 94 ride was just hooked up all night long. Obviously qualified in that pole position. You led a few laps early on, then all of a sudden we see Gage Wenzel jump up and around you. Then we see, obviously, Cofield's up there in the mix. Dwayne Furtick jumps up there. He leads a lot of laps here through the middle portion of this race, and it comes down to just, being in the right place at the right time. You're putting the pressure on him. You're looking to make the move to get around Dwayne there late in this, second run of the day prior to the second wave, really, of green flag pit stops out there on the Speedway. He shoots down pit road. Next time around, you come down pit side. He goes for 4 tires. You go for 2 tires. I wasn't sure how that was going to work out for you. I thought for certain he was going to track you down, that the 4 tires were going to pay off for him in the long run here over those final, 47 laps of green flag racing. But I was completely wrong because you just kept keeping him back there at bay and really, kept driving away from him. Every time it seemed like he would gain a couple tenths, the next time around you would gain another tenth or two on him, and just kept kind of bouncing back and forth between really, 2.8 to like 3.2 seconds between you two, and really never allowed him to get too much closer or within 2 seconds of your back bumper here late in this feature event, man. Take us back through and what's really going through your mind here after obviously a great race, a lot of green flag laps, and then that pit stop as well.
Well, it started in qualifying. I shocked myself with that lap I ran. I was not expecting to get anywhere remotely close to that, let alone getting the pole tonight. So that was that's started with a nice shock for the race. Then the start there, we just got going and just trying to settle in. Tires was the big name in the game tonight. So we're just trying not to overuse the tires there at the beginning. Gage came up, caught me, and I just let him go. Figured just let it just ride in there, and just settled in for a little bit. And then same with when I think the 58 got past me, and then him and Gage got racing there, and I think they got racing a little too hard, and ultimately burnt their tires up on that first run where I was just able to just keep it steady, just keep it within touch with them, and then just was ultimately able to go. I want to say like 20 or so laps longer on that first initial run than most of the top guys at that time, and I think that's ultimately what shook it up because I think that first caution came out, a lot of people had pitted already, and I don't believe I had pitted yet, and there was a handful of that were still out there, so that really shook the field up, and unfortunately I lost the lead in the pit cycle under the caution, and then Dwayne just got a good restart and just held me at bay for the majority of that fuel run. Towards the end of it, I think lap traffic chewed his tires up a little more than mine did, and then I was able to catch back up to him, and then he pitted, and I went another lap just to try to get a tiny little bit of an offset in the tires, and I was kind of figuring that he was going to take two, so to try just to have a little bit at least one lap fresher, and then came down, hit our marks on getting on pit road, took the two tires, and those two tires really woke the car up. It feels like, because it seems like that last 50 lap run there at the end, thing was on a rail, and it was just a matter of just taking my time through lap traffic and just essentially just minding the gap and taking care of the tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking care of the tires, the name of the game here at Iowa Speedway. And obviously, yeah, that first caution flag, the only caution flag here this evening, really shook things up. Obviously, it caught a lot of drivers one lap down, a bunch of them multiple laps down, and really split this field up. And unfortunately, sent a lot of drivers kind of backwards and kind of head scratching here throughout the middle portion of this race. And then with it being nonstop green flag racing since that restart, never really gave a lot of these guys an opportunity to kind of get back onto a level playing field or kind of get back into the same strategy as you guys, and I just kept them on their heels all evening long. And obviously for you, Furtick, Cofield, a lot of you guys that were up at the front, you were able to just keep a lot of speed, a lot of pace there with the fresher tires at the front of the field without losing that track position. And you guys are just putting them a lap down, packing them away, as I do believe only 9 drivers here finished on the lead lap this afternoon, which is crazy because, I mean, the field is so stacked, so many talented drivers. When you look back through it, seeing drivers like Gage Wenzel and drivers like Matt Sisler, Dalton Wicker, a lot of these guys that are, a lap or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack, and they never really ran into a problem. They didn't have, a bad race. They didn't get, into the fence. They didn't get turned around. They didn't have a huge wreck that they were a part of, and it was just your guys' domination here at the front of the field that, kept them back there at bay and put them into a tough spot here this evening.
Yeah, I think ultimately a lot of like some of the guys that seem to struggle with didn't have any like issues. I think ultimately it just came down to they just burnt their tires up too early and had to go off strategy, because I know during the race it probably didn't show up very much, but there was quite a few people that were blowing tires around about the lap 60 mark of the run. So there was quite a few guys, like when you saw like somebody just like randomly pit, it was mainly because they blew a tire.
Okay.
So there was there was a lot of tire strategies because of just people not being able to save that right front tire.
Okay. See, I was kind of wondering what that was, because in my overlay it'll show me the race control flags that they get. So if you get a black flag, it'll show that, or if you get a caution penalty for caught in the course, let's say on a road course or something, that'll show up. And then obviously when you get like that black and orange circle flag, which is like the damage flag.
Yeah, that's the meatball flag. That typically like when you see that pop up and you don't see any contact, that typically means they blew a tire.
Okay. See, I was trying to figure out what that was. I was thinking maybe it was, something with the shifter or something like that, if guys were like downshifting at the wrong time or something and running into those kind of issues. But that makes a lot more sense. Tire issues here this afternoon. That makes a lot of sense for how much tire wear we saw here this evening. But nonetheless, man, it made things Very, very exciting. Very fun to watch here this evening, and kept us on our toes here all night long. And for yourself, man, it was a hell of a show that you put on here at the front of the field. A great race, great battle in between yourself, Furtick, Cofield, Wenzel there for a while. And here at the end of the night, though, as the smoke settles here at Iowa, you park yourself up and into victory lane for the first time here in this season. Adam, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive out there on the Speedway?
Well, shout out to you for doing an awesome job each and every week on the broadcast. Shout out to my RMS teammates. I think two or three of us got top tens there. Unfortunately, Michael Carter, he got caught up in that first caution, so his day ended early. But overall, solid showing for the RMS Toyotas. And then I also like to give a shout out to my sponsor for Boughton Enterprises for being on the cards this season.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here tonight, man. We can't wait to see you back in action again next Thursday and see if you can park this Boughton Enterprises LLC number 94 ride right back up here into victory lane and try to make it 2 for 2 here in the series.
We're going to try to, but Talladega is going to be a crapshoot.
It's going to be fun, that is for certain. I'm sure we're going to see, it's kind of crazy. We're probably going to see more caution flags at Talladega than we did here at Iowa.
Mm-hmm. And we got a little twist going on for the race next week as well, as part of the management with HRL. So the racing should be a little bit more exciting than a typical super speedway. So we got that to look forward to as well. So it should be ultimately a really fun race next week.
Alrighty, brother. We look forward to it, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Adam, congrats again on the dub, and we'll see you back out there next weekend. Next Thursday. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Adam Boughton. Boughton gets it done and picks up the dub here in this one as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It's the 51 machine of Dwayne Furtick. Hey, Dwayne, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, Dwayne. Man, another solid run, another great effort for this 51 machine here this afternoon, brother. Take us back through what's going through your mind after 200 laps of racing action here at Iowa Speedway.
It was some fantastic racing out there. 51 car was dialed in and hooked up, and came up a little bit short, but overall, very satisfied with my performance tonight. Just checking these boxes off race after race, and so just trying to be very consistent.
Yeah, well, consistency is key, and consistency wins championships. That is for certain. And obviously, already on the season with a couple wins and quite a few trips up here into the broadcast booth, even after missing a race, still sitting top 3 in the point standings as well, coming in feeling definitely A-OK here this evening. And he had a great shot of potentially winning race number 3 here on this season, but it comes down to that final pit stop of the day. We see you come down one lap prior to Boughton, and you take 4 tires. He takes 2. I thought it was going to work out in your favor. I thought the 4 tires for certain, with how egregious the tire wear has been here, that you were going to track him down and make the late race pass to jump back out in front and win this race. But man, it just seemed like those 2 tires paid off in tenfold for that 94 ride. Is not only were you not really able to catch him here, he just kept on clicking away and putting more and more drivers a lap down, and just kept on keeping you back there at bay, and never allowed you or Cofield to catch up to him and challenge him here for the late race win.
Yeah, Adam did a fantastic job, and huge congrats to him on the win. He's a class act driver, and just so happy for him. So he did an amazing job.
Yeah, amazing job, amazing race there. Also just hitting his marks, being patient there through lap traffic. Do you think maybe that lap traffic kind of played a role, in your performance late in this race? Do you think maybe the 4 tires kind of got a little burnt up trying to battle through a little extra lap traffic there as you came out of pit road? Is that maybe kind of what balanced out the tires between you and the 94 ride?
No, I don't think I don't want to take anything away from Adam. I don't think lap traffic played any factor tonight. And he just, did an amazing job on the win. So I don't want to, we always have lap traffic everywhere we go. I don't want to make any excuses for that. Again, I'm very satisfied with, my results tonight, and shout out to my teammates. We got an amazing group, and just keep clicking away.
Yeah, keep clicking away, keep getting some great runs, great performances out there, and try to put yourselves in line for a championship here in the Hypershift IMB Racewear NASCAR Series. But Dwayne, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you nonetheless here this evening, brother. Congrats on the second place run, and who would you like to thank? Who else would you like to thank here for such an amazing performance out there on the racetrack?
Just thank all of our sponsors: IMB Racewear, Tom's Toasty Taters, JuicySpydr. Thank you for their commitment to this league, and thank you for the admins. Adam, Ludi, do an amazing job. And as always, brother, thank you for all you do in the booth.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure. No better place to be on a Thursday night than up here in the booth and watching you guys duke it out there on the racetrack. Dwayne, congrats on the second place run, and we can't wait to see you back out there again next Thursday night as we head to Talladega Super Speedway for what should be a very fun, very exciting race, man. And the first time we get to see you on a Super Speedway as well out there on the racetrack.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Absolutely as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 51 rider Dwayne Furtick as Dwayne comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Great run, great drive, great performance there for that number 51 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher. It is the number 58 rider Jonathan Cofield. I do believe last week's winner, if I'm not mistaken, picked up the dub last week. Yes, he did, as Cofield was able to get it done in Darlington. We get ready now to pull him up here into the booth as our third place finisher here at Iowa. Let's get him up here right now. Hey, Jonathan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Jonathan, man, another great run, another great performance for this 58 ride this afternoon. Obviously, another fast, hot run for you out there on the racetrack. It looked like for a little while there as you were able to drive up, get around Gage Wenzel and Boughton that maybe you had a good enough car, maybe you had enough speed that you were going to find victory lane again here this afternoon to make it 2 in a row here in the Hypershift Racing League. Unfortunately, though, just a lot of green flag laps, not enough time there to track down Dwayne Furtick and Adam Boughton late in this race, and you have to just settle in for a third place run. But back-to-back trips up here onto the podium, brother. Take us back through what's kind of going through your mind as you finish off the night in that third position.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with third. Adam, even in that first run, he was starting to run me down right before I pitted. Got my tire warning on lap 50, and I was like, let's pit every 50 laps and see what happens. And everything was going green, and I thought it might work out. I was going to save a little tire in the second stint and maybe run it a little further than 100, but caution come out. I was able to get my lap back, so I didn't have to do the lucky dog, and I was able to pit with everybody, and just got set back a little bit in the field. Worked my way up, but all in all, podium finish. It was a really good race. One caution at a short track. I mean, that's outstanding.
Yeah, definitely outstanding. Definitely above and beyond what I thought was going to happen here this evening. I thought for certain we were going to see a whole lot more caution flags than that. Now, heading to, our next race, we head to Talladega. I got a sneaky suspicion we're going to see more caution flags at Talladega than we are Iowa Speedway, which is just a crazy thing to say. I don't think I could say that about any other league that we would go to Iowa and have less yellows than a super speedway.
Yeah, well, the setup was on point. The car was really hooked up, so that helped a lot. Not like other tracks. I think the nighttime might have helped. I think track temp was like 70 degrees. It was nowhere near as slick as it was last week. So definitely the night helped. But yeah, Talladega, my hometown. Hopefully we can have a good run there.
Absolutely, brother. Well, that is definitely an interesting fact as we'll see you guys duke it out there next week. See if that little hometown track kind of rolls into your favor, and maybe we see this 58 ride right back up here into the broadcast booth. But, Jonathan, another great run, another great drive for you here this evening, brother. Who would you like to thank for another great performance out there on the Speedway?
Well, first off, Peacemaker, YouTube for doing the broadcast. Just everybody in the league, all the drivers, man, awesome job tonight. like I said, big congrats to Adam. Awesome run. Dwayne, of course, man, real fast driver. Awesome run by him. Uh, I didn't even think to take 2 tires, to be honest with you. I thought they were burning them up so bad through the race. I'd take 4, but apparently that 2 tire worked. And big congratulations to him for that. Just all the admins in here, all the sponsors. Really appreciate everybody that supports the league and lets us come out here every Thursday night. And Shaco Springs, it gives me my paycheck every Friday. Sim Shop. If you need some Moza or some magic stuff, go check them guys out. Type in Bandits and save you a little money.
Absolutely. Well, Jonathan, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening. And yeah, that 2 tire stop paid tenfold here this afternoon for Adam Belton as he's able to use that 2 tire pit stop to put himself up into victory lane. But a good performance from yourself puts you right back up here onto the podium, brother. Congrats on the great run. Congrats on the great drive here this evening. As park the 58 here in third. And now that we head back to your home track, brother, I guess no better way to finish off the post-race interview than a little roll tide here this afternoon.
Oh, War Eagle, don't do that.
Oh, no. It's roll tide, baby. Roll tide. All right. War Eagle as well. Okay, I'll go with it. As Jonathan, great run, great drive, brother. We'll see you back out there next Thursday night.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, the number 58 of Jonathan Cofield, man. Great run, great drive there by Cofield as we'll get ready to, unfortunately, call it a night here. These drivers have done their job. They put on a great race for us. They put on a wonderful show, a wonderful event here this afternoon in the Tiny Toes 171. As that was a hell of a performance, man. One caution flag here this afternoon. And, I mean, we had 5 laps, 6 laps under yellow flag here this evening, so virtually 194, 193 laps of non-stop green flag racing, beating and banging, battling, and drivers slipping and sliding out there on the racetrack, trying to keep their cars, on the racing surface, not trying to blow out tires and trying to keep themselves in the fight all night long. But when the dust settles here in Iowa, it is Adam Belton who picks up the checkered flag here in this one, man. Huge congratulations again to Adam Belton on the win. Congrats to all these drivers for putting together a amazing race, an amazing run here for us this evening, and we can't wait to see all these drivers back in battle again next Thursday night from Talladega Super Speedway's Hypershift Racing League. In the comments section says, hell of a race. Great job out there, gang. Great job. Great race. Great performance by each and every single one of these drivers, man. That was a amazing performance, man. That's one for the history books right there. I think that's probably one of the only times I've come here to Iowa and really didn't see, more than, 3 or 4 caution flags out there on the racetrack. I mean, most of the time that's like a very minimal night is seeing 4 cautions here at Iowa Speedway over a 200-lap race event. So, I mean, these guys just went above and beyond and just put together an immaculate race here for us this afternoon. A huge shout out to each and every one of these drivers for putting together the great run. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here in this one. As Squeaker says, got wrecked. Unfortunate break there, Squeaker. Unfortunate break. Squeaker got wrecked. A lot of drivers, unfortunately, had issues, had tire problems, had, obviously fuel problems. A lot of drivers, well, not a lot of drivers. I think, we have 3 drivers that got tied up in our only caution flag of the night, which is just still absurd to me to say, man. Only 1 yellow flag here this evening. 1 yellow flag throughout 200 laps of racing action here from Iowa Speedway. That was an amazing race, an amazing run. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. And if you haven't already, it's not too late. Make sure you guys hit the like button for us on the broadcast, the thumbs up button right now. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family play here today, and we'll see you guys back here in the grandstands again tomorrow night, as we'll be right back up here in the broadcast booth. Another amazing night of racing action here tomorrow evening on Peacemaker Gaming, and we can't wait to see you guys in there cheering on our Friday night drivers as they put on a wonderful show for us as well. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Peace and love, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.
Who never fear to fly, checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hypershift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's light. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we